What's up, guys? Ohio State wins, Michigan loses. That's what we're all about here on Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Gray. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We're going to get right into it. Real quick, I'm your host, Johnny Bullet. Follow me on Twitter at ScarletGreatJL. You see content like this and a whole lot more if you follow me there. Today's show, reviewing the Toledo beatdown and many things from this weekend. Ohio State's got a shiny new weapon on offense that is much better than I expected. We got to see a new look at Dallan Hayden, who, if you remember, was a guest on this channel. He's the other scholarship running back behind Miyan Williams and behind TreVeyon Henderson. Evan Pryor, we know, was injured. Dallan Hayden got in the game, looked really nice. So we got to see some of him on Saturday. We'll talk about that. And Michigan's monumental failure coming up right here. We are going to talk about how things aren't what they might seem with the Michigan Wolverines, and they believe they're on all systems go. Real quick, guys, before we start talking about the Buckeyes, comment yes or no. Just a simple wire in. Are you surprised with Cade Stover's new emergence? I want to say I am. This right here, Ohio State's new weapon, Cade Stover. Think about this. Going into the season, we talked about the three-headed monster at receiver, right? We talked about Miyan and TreVeyon in the backfield, CJ Stroud and his fantastic throwing ability. I kind of just thought that was enough, right? Ohio State fans, we had become resigned to the fact that we're just not going to use the tight end much. And we didn't use Jeremy Ruckert all that much. And we thought maybe he was one of the more talented ones we'd ever had at Ohio State. You insert Cade Stover. Is he a linebacker? Is he tight end? Is he linebacker? You have some other guys on the roster. Okay. Cade Stover is going to be a good player. A good player is a tight end at Ohio State is somebody that catches a pass now and then, is a good blocker. So I understand why you wouldn't think this guy who's a converted linebacker is going to be, some showstopper on offense. And even if he had the ability, you're going to take balls away from the other guys I mentioned, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, so on and so forth, to throw to this guy. That was kind of hard for me to believe. So I'm giving it back here. I'm giving it a yes, a Y for me. I am surprised at Cade Stover's emergence. This guy, the way that he can, run around and get open, he looks faster than I thought he was. His hands are much better than I thought they were. I guess he probably had hands the whole time. We just didn't know about it because he was such a dominant linebacker in high school. You see him streaking over the middle, Stroud dropping it in a bucket for him. Just the other plays that he's always seems to be there. I think it was last game, not this past game with Toledo. I think it was Arkansas State. He probably had the most athletic one-handed 1 yard gain I had seen in quite some time. This kid can just flat ball. And now you're looking at, if you have a situation where you are going against really good corners, really good pass rush that doesn't give you time to get down the field to wide receivers, is Cade Stover going to be this just another cheat code, another defensive weapon or offensive weapon for defenses to have to deal with? I think he is. And I, for one, did not see this coming. And keep in mind, Jaxon Smith-Njigba has still not played a whole game. Also, Julian Fleming returned. I thought he looked pretty good. Now, he had 2 touchdowns. I didn't see him do things that were athletically flashy. He kind of sat down on a little, just a little hitch, a little curl route, and just caught a touchdown. Now, the second play with the hand-eye coordination, getting his feet down, snagging the ball, keeping control, scoring a touchdown, that at least had a lot of good hand control, a lot of good receiver ability there. So I was pleasantly surprised at Julian's return. Not as surprised as Cade's return, but again, just an embarrassment of riches here at Ohio State. Now you have Cade Stover to have to worry about, and Julian Fleming. And like I said, wide receiver number 1, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, still not really getting much playing time. Look to see him back more, I would say, next week against Wisconsin. So, wow, just one more weapon, one more feather in the cap for Ryan Day and company. Dallan Hayden. What a nice surprise he was. We got to see him, in a game like this with Toledo, you get to think, all right, what can I actually glean? Well, maybe you get to see some backups, right? You get to see if the team overlooks anybody. Okay, probably not. Okay, you get to see the depth, the backup. Dallan Hayden looked really nice. I saw some J.K. Dobbins comparisons. If you remember back on this channel, last summer when he committed, Shane Larson did an interview. I encourage you to go back and watch that interview. But he was an awesome kid from Tennessee, I believe it was. He looks very strong, very physically built, especially for a freshman. He has that nice jitterbug to him, sidestep, not quite the as short in stature it seems as J.K. Dobbins, where he hops side to side, and it looked even more pronounced. But I could see a little bit of Dobbins, a little bit of Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall was the comparison I made back when I first saw him. But he likes to bounce side to side. And he has a quick burst, like a really get up and go as soon as the ball is snapped. So I really like that. I think the future is bright with him. Really, really nice player. And then you even saw walk on probably have the biggest run. I don't know. I definitely have the best highlight reel of Ohio State running backs all season. Maybe even the country. I don't know. So another big net positive right there for the Buckeyes. Dallan Hayden. What did you guys think? Were you impressed with Hayden? You think he's got a bright future here? If you think if we lose one of Chop or TreVeyon, we probably don't lose TreVeyon, but if Miyan goes pro, or if he has a good enough year to go pro or transfers next year, you feel good about having him behind Evan Pryor on the depth chart, or does he even sneak up and overtake Evan while Evan's out with injury? That'll be interesting to see. All right, we talked about a few of the good surprises. We'll talk about a little bit of the ugly, a little bit of the bad / ugly. Now, Akron put up 21 points. I will say that I think the defense Toledo needs to put up 21 points. I think the defense does need to stiffen. Now, if you want to find a little bit of saving grace, it's not like it was sustained drives. There was one drive that was kind of sustained where Daquan Finn, phenomenal athlete, by the way. If that's another quarterback, a lot more sacks would be added up by that Ohio State front. So you had that middle touchdown, that second touchdown where Daquan Finn kind of sustained a drive and then had a big scramble at the end for a touchdown. Okay, that's, if anything, the most sustained drive. But the first, you catch your best corner, your best corner, Cameron Brown is caught peeking into the backfield. Tight end runs right by him. Okay, you know that the tight end's not more athletic, Cam Brown. You know that can be corrected. And again, this part of Jim Knowles' defense, right? Same with the latter touchdown against Denzel Burke. Jim Knowles, as I think one of my friends brought to me before the hire or during the hire of Jim Knowles, hey, he gives up a lot of big plays, but very few overall yards. So it leaves his corners on an island. That's going to happen. Now, it might be time to talk about this because I trust that Cam Brown will get it right. But this 3 games in a row, Denzel Burke's not been very good. And as Zach Smith said, he was asked, hey, is it time to maybe look at another corner? He said they look at other corners every day in practice. If he's out there, it's because he's the second best guy. He's only a sophomore. It's not like he's got tremendous amounts of seniority here. I know he was good for a while last year. I don't understand what has happened. The touchdown caught on him. He didn't even play the ball. He kind of waited for the receiver to catch it and then tried to swat at his hands. He's got to contest that. I don't understand what's going on. He would have got burnt pretty bad again had defense not called timeout when Toledo was backed up in their own end zone. So I really think the defense got to just find a tweak, because if you play anybody else, they're gonna go for these big plays. Remember the Urban Meyer saying, "Find the fish." They found the fish, and I would attack Ohio State downfield. They're not going to give you just sustained drives. I would attack them down the field. So you're going to have to, maybe from time to time, you don't pull that up. I know one of the things that probably makes this defense so good is that extra safety coming down. But at times, you're probably going to have to help these guys out. And not just leave them on an island, or they're just going to have to stiffen up. Because If you play a really good team, they get maybe 2 sustained drives and then 2 big plays. Okay, that's 28 points. You don't want that to start piling up. So we need to figure out what in the world's going on with Denzel Burke. He needs to find that dog in him. I've heard about injuries. We'll see if that's the case. And Cameron Brown, you got to play discipline. You can't get caught looking in the backfield. So a little bit of the good, a little bit of the bad. I want to talk about that team up north. Real quick, give this video a like. Like this video if you think the University of Michigan is scheduling like children. They are scheduling, I fully believe, just like cowards. And you can say, oh, the schedule was made long ago, before you know how good these teams will be. When was Hawaii, Colorado State? Colorado State, I think at one time was at least respectable. But Hawaii and UConn, come on. You're going to put them on the schedule the same time. I have not a huge problem with any 2 of the 3 being on there, but nobody else you're trying to get in there and mix it up with. So give this video a like if you think the University of Michigan is scheduling like children. Guys, they are 128th out of 131 FBS teams in strength of schedule. So what that means is you look at group of 5 teams that aren't going to be all the time playing big powerhouse, that you expect to be playing down in competition. Michigan is below almost all of them in their strength of schedule. And the one part they can control is their out of conference schedule. And that's the part. It's only going to improve when they have to play the Big Ten teams. But they chose to play absolutely terrible teams. I think this is a monumental failure. This is fool's gold. This is beating on the chest and everything else. If you want to talk about more failures of, you see the beating on their chest. Oh, we beat UConn. We beat UConn. JJ McCarthy, nor McNamara threw 1 passing touchdown or rushed for a touchdown against UConn. Some great quarterback performance that was. They also, as a team, combined to pass for 300 yards. They failed to pass for 300 yards as a team. Now, I know what many of you are going to say. Jim Harbaugh's not in love with the throw. He likes to ground and pound. They probably ran the ball for, say, 350, something like that on UConn, which I expected. Oh, they failed to rush for 200 yards. Forced 1 turnover. Guys, pump the brakes on this Ann Arbor hype train. All right, you played bad. You didn't play bad teams. Ohio State's strength of schedule is not fantastic right now either, but it's not awful, right? You didn't play bad teams. You played the worst teams possible. Just if you're scared, just say so. I can hear the angry Wolverines in the comments right now. But the gameplay, you're scared. It's okay. Just say it. Just comment. I'm scared. I got it. Here is something quite shocking. SRS, UM. If you say, well, we're beating the teams really bad. Yes, you are. As you should. UM is 51st in SRS, which kind of takes a measurement, strength of record, and how you perform, strength of schedule, and how you perform. Ohio State is 2nd. Now, I realize USC is number 1. This is not a perfect metric, but just goes to show UM's not really scoring the type of, analytical points that points to anything, meaning they are this fantastic train that's better off than the Buckeyes right now. I think this is a colossal cowardice by Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines. I think that it's just more of the same. It's just perfectly in line with they had a decent season last year because Ohio State was so far down. They still lost a little brother, and now they go out and schedule a lot of nobodies. So, recap, guys. Ohio State did pretty good. Shiny new weapons. The defense does have to stiffen up a bit, and we get to poke fun of that team up north for failing. Please, guys, subscribe to this channel if you love the Buckeyes and you want to continue to hear us harass the Wolverines from now on. I really appreciate you guys being here. Remember, there's no such thing as boneless wings. Come back and see us again. As always, goodbye. God bless. Go Bucks.